911, where's your emergency?
Hello.
Hello. Is everything okay?
My mommy and daddy.
Uh-huh.
I think there's a bullet on the floor.
There's a what?
And there's blood coming out of my dad's mouth, and he fell off the bed.
He did. Where's Mommy at?
I don't know. I think they're dead.
What do you mean, sweetheart?
I don't know.
Okay, your daddy's on the floor. How old are you?
I'm 5 years old, and I have a dog in the house.
Okay, baby, okay. Let me get something right over to you. Did you go in your mommy and daddy's room?
And there's blood.
All over the place?
Not all over. There's blood on the bed and blood on the floor.
Oh, my goodness. And you have your little doggie with you?
And 3 cats.
Well, and you got some cats, too?
3 cats and 1 dog.
Okay. Are you the only one there besides Mommy and Daddy?
I said Mommy and Daddy, and they didn't even answer.
Okay. What I want you to do, honey, I want you to stay on the phone with me. What is your name? Oh, that's a very pretty name.
Actually, it's
Oh, I'm so sorry. That is a beautiful name. What's your doggie's name?
Liza.
Okay. And what made you wake up tonight?
I think I heard a gunshot.
You heard a gun?
Yes, and I see a bullet laying on the floor. I think it's a bullet.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Who has a gun in the house?
I don't see a gun, but I'm scared.
Oh, sweetheart, I will not let anything happen to you.
Can you send the deputy down?
I promise I will. And you're only 5 years old?
Mm-hmm.
You are so smart for 5 years old. Wow. Are you off of school this week?
No, I go to school next year.
You do? Oh my gosh, you're not even in kindergarten yet?
No,
Oh, what's your doggie's name?
Liza.
Liza. What kind of doggie is she?
She's a lab.
Oh my God, I love those. Those are so beautiful. Is she a black lab or is she a yellow lab?
A black lab.
Oh my, you are so smart.
With, brown eyes.
Oh my goodness, how old is she?
She's like 3 years old or 2 years old. I don't really know.
Wow. You can remember her for a long time, huh?
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Was there anybody else in the house besides you and Mommy and Daddy tonight? Like an uncle or anything?
No, there's no robber in the house.
Okay, well I didn't think there'd be a robber, sweetheart. Did you have anybody staying over the night with you guys tonight?
Mm-mm.
Okay. You staying over the night with you guys tonight?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So and the doors are all locked and everything like that. Where are you in the house?
Well, I was in my room sleeping until I heard a noise shot and it woke me up.
Oh my goodness. What part of the house are you in at now?
I'm in the one, it's yellow, a whole yellow house, a green with it, a little bit of green, and a pink door.
Oh my goodness, that sounds really cool. Did you pick out the pink door?
No, my mom picked out the color.
I bet that's beautiful. Does Mommy and Daddy have a car in the driveway?
2 cars.
2 cars? What kind of cars do they have?
My mom has a Toyota.
What color is that Toyota? Is it dark or gray or silver?
It's red.
Red? Okay. What kind of car does Daddy have?
He has a Jeep. It's black and
Okay,
white.
listen to me. Is your phone the kind of phone you can take with you and walk around? There should be an officer at your front door. I need for you to take your phone with you and walk over to the door and open it for me, okay? And I'm going to stay on the phone with you, okay?
But,
I will not hang up.
I'm naked.
Oh, well, you want to go grab a towel or something? I don't think the officer's going to care, baby. We just want to make sure Mommy and Daddy are okay, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Grab a blanket or something. Stay on the phone with me. Stay on the phone, all right?
Okay.
My name's Donna, by the way. You are doing a wonderful job. Wonderful job.
And I knew what to do for safer dogs.
You did great.
I knew.
You are wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. You should be very proud of yourself.
I'm to the door. I'm unlocking it.
Okay. You let me know when the officer talks to you. Okay, you go ahead, Tay. You talk to the officer.
Is the dispatcher? Okay, tell her I'm here now, okay? You can hang up.
Bye, sweetheart.
He's here.
Okay, sweetheart. You be good, okay? Bye-bye. 911.
This was the voice of 5-year-old Tia Hein, calling 911 in the early hours of the morning after waking up to a nightmare no child should ever endure. Alone and terrified, she found her parents unresponsive with blood everywhere. Today, we uncover the heartbreaking story of Tia Hein and the tragic events that forever changed her life. Welcome back to where we uncover true crime tales that shock, haunt, and stay with you. Before we begin, I want to issue a content warning. Today's story involves heartbreaking events, including violence and loss. that may be unsettling for some viewers. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Grab your blanket, settle by the fire, and join me as we delve into the tragic story of Tia Hein and the tragedy that struck her family. Tia's 911 call. In the early hours of March 28, 2005, 5-year-old Tia Hein made a frantic 911 call. Donna Chenisek answered the call, and in this heart-wrenching conversation, brave Tia told Donna how she found her parents lying on the floor of their bedroom, covered in blood. The 911 operator, Donna, spoke to Tia, trying to keep her calm and focused while waiting for officers to arrive. When they finally got there, they found Tia still on the phone with Donna, her mother, Julie, dead, and her father, Inez, clinging to life. Julie and Inez's relationship. Julie Morgan met lifeguard Inez Hein on Daytona Beach, and they quickly fell in love. Both fun-loving and passionate about surfing, they sought new experiences together. They moved to the Virgin Islands, where Inez had family and got married there. Later, they returned to Florida near New Smyrna Beach, where they worked hard to buy a bright yellow house with lime green trim and a pink door in 2000. Tia's birth and family life. Julie and Inez welcomed their daughter, Tia, in 2000. She was the center of their world, and they included her in all their activities, creating a nurturing environment. Their close-knit family bond was evident in the time they shared together. Challenges in life. In 2005, Inez, then 29, had just started a promising new job. Julie, 31, was due to graduate with honors in May from Daytona Beach Community College as a paralegal. Described as an incredible student who studied often, she sometimes brought Tia to the library with her. Professors and friends praised Julie as a vibrant and helpful individual. Her close friend, Michelle, said Julie wanted to become a paralegal to provide the help people deserved when coming into a law office. Encounter with David Johnson. Years earlier, Julie and Inez had crossed paths with David Edward Johnson, a man with a criminal history and a reputation for unstable behavior. Johnson believed the Hines were responsible for tipping off law enforcement, which led to his arrest for drug-related charges. He became obsessed with the idea of revenge, convinced that they had ruined his life. Johnson's threats and the family's concerns. As Johnson's resentment grew, his behavior became increasingly erratic. He was reportedly overheard making threats against the Hein family, but those who knew him didn't imagine how far his anger would drive him. For Julie and Inez, Johnson's threats were a concern, but they never anticipated the level of violence he was capable of. The tragic incident. When police arrived at the Hein home, they found a scene of unimaginable tragedy. Julie and Inez had succumbed to their injuries, leaving Tia an orphan. Officers were deeply moved by Tia's bravery and composure during the 911 call, but her heartbreaking loss left an indelible mark on everyone involved. Investigation and Johnson's suicide. Authorities quickly identified David Edward Johnson as the perpetrator. Within hours of the attack, they tracked him down, but before they could arrest him, Johnson took his own life. This act robbed the Hein family of the chance for justice and answers. Officers found newspaper clippings of his November arrest on drug charges taped to his fridge, along with documents detailing his upcoming trial. The sheriff noted that it seemed to obsess him. Johnson's history and Julie's restraining order. The investigators found out that Julie had filed a restraining order against 33-year-old David Edward Johnson 2 months prior, but the judge denied the request, citing a lack of alleged violence and difficulty proving stalking. Johnson had been harassing and stalking the family, believing they were responsible for his arrest in November 2004 on charges of growing marijuana and possessing steroids. This belief was unfounded, as officials confirmed the couple had no involvement in his arrest. Despite this, Johnson remained convinced otherwise. Julie's fears and warnings. Julie knew Johnson posed a threat to their safety and had expressed her concerns to friends, saying he was ruining their lives. She meticulously documented every instance of Johnson driving by their house, calling or making threats, noting the dates, times, and descriptions. Despite her efforts, the judge denied her restraining order request. Julie called her friend crying and said she feared for her life, predicting that Johnson might kill her. Her friend recalled Julie saying, "If I'm not here next week, this is the reason why, and this is who killed me." Tia's welfare and community support. In the immediate aftermath of the tragic incident, Tia went to live with her grandparents in Central Florida, providing her with a stable and loving environment during a time of unimaginable grief and confusion. A trust fund was established in her name at Gulf States Credit Union to secure her financial future and ensure she had the resources necessary for her upbringing and education. The community rallied together, expressing their support and sympathy, aiming to ensure Tia received the care and support she needed during this difficult time. Praise for the 911 operator and Tia. Both Tia and Donna, the 911 operator, were praised for their extraordinary composure during the call. County Sheriff Ben Johnson said, "Tia's composure is extraordinary, given what she had just seen. She was an amazing little girl. The information she gave us and the manner she gave it to us, we wish we could get that out of adults." Donna herself said that this 911 call was one she would never forget and hoped to meet Tia one day to give her a big hug. While it's unclear if they ever met, Donna's professionalism and care during the call were remarkable. Outrage of family members and systemic failures. Following the murders, many family members were outraged that the police and court system did not do more to protect Julie and Inez. Julie had sought help from authorities and even predicted that Johnson might kill them one day. Despite doing everything she was supposed to, her efforts were ignored and the system failed her. In an email to a newspaper, Julie's family wrote, "One of her last conversations with police was, 'What is to happen? He has to kill me before you do anything.'" Reactions and reflections of authorities. Sheriff Ben Johnson defended his investigators' actions, saying they had warned Johnson to keep his distance from the family. He acknowledged the tragic nature of the case, stating, "It's a bad situation and something we don't like to see happen. But when you take someone just as to possess, that's someone that's hard to stop." Circuit Judge Richard Graham expressed his deep upset over the case. When Circuit Judge Richard Graham heard about the murders, he recalled a request for the injunction, noting that it had contained very little information at the time. He reflected that had he received more details, he likely would have granted it. Looking back, "I would have liked to handle it differently, but you review each case individually," he said. However, Sheriff Ben Johnson believed that the injunction wouldn't have prevented the attack, stating, "In a case like this, an injunction is only effective for someone willing to follow the rules." This individual was set on taking action. The only way to have prevented it would have been to put him in jail and keep him there. Wrongful death lawsuit. In the years following the tragedy, Tia and her family filed a wrongful death claim against Johnson's estate, seeking compensation for emotional distress, mental anguish, and the loss of Tia's parents. The lawsuit stated that after killing Inez Hein and Julie Morgan Hein, Johnson left their bodies for their child, Tia, to discover. He was aware that Tia would likely be the first to find the scene and make the horrific discovery. Details on the outcome of this lawsuit are scarce, but as of today, Tia Hein would be around 23 years old. Tia's life today. Very little is known about Tia's life today, but it's hoped that she has grown into an incredible young woman. At such a young age, Tia faced unimaginable tragedy and demonstrated remarkable resilience and strength. Her composure during the 911 call is a testament to her courage and to her parents, who raised an extraordinary child. Home security and emergency preparedness. This story underscores the importance of vigilance in protecting your loved ones. Here are some safety tips to help you stay prepared for emergencies. Secure your home. Install sturdy locks, security cameras, and an alarm system to protect against intruders. Teach children how to call 911 and what to do in case of an emergency. Address warning signs. Take threats or unusual behavior seriously and report them to authorities when necessary. Thank you for joining me in remembering Tia Hein's story. This tragic case reminds us of the importance of addressing conflicts, supporting mental health, and taking threats seriously. Please like, subscribe, and share to raise awareness and honor the memory of Julie and Inez Hein. Until next time, stay safe, stay aware, and take care of your loved ones. Character analysis. Tia Hein. Tia Hein is a young girl at the center of the story who witnesses the murder of her parents. Despite the tragic events, Tia exhibits remarkable composure and bravery during her 911 call. She displays maturity beyond her years, providing crucial information to the operator and following instructions calmly. Tia's actions are extraordinary given the shock and grief she experiences, highlighting her inherent resilience and resourcefulness. Throughout the story, Tia's vulnerability as a child dealing with grief and trauma is evident. Her accounts of her mother's efforts to seek a restraining order and her fears before the tragic incident underscore the sense of danger and uncertainty her family faced. Despite the trauma she endures, Tia is portrayed as a beacon of hope in the story, receiving support from her community and family, and presumably growing up in a loving environment. Julie Morgan. Julie Morgan is Tia's mother and Inez Hein's wife. She is described as a fun-loving individual with a passion for surfing and a deep devotion to her family. Julie is an ambitious and determined individual, pursuing her education as a paralegal while also being a caring mother to Tia. Her commitment to her family's safety is evident in her efforts to seek a restraining order against David Johnson and her awareness of him as a threat. Julie's story highlights the tragic consequences of systemic failures and the lack of seriousness with which authorities treated her threats. Despite her efforts and fears, Julie's pleas were disregarded, ultimately leading to her and Inez's untimely deaths. Julie's story is a poignant reminder of the need for victim advocacy and better protective measures to prevent violence against women. Inez Hein. Inez Hein is Tia's father and Julie's husband. He is described as a passionate surfer and a dedicated father to his family. Inez is a hard-working individual, striving to support his family and provide them with a stable home. While his character is not extensively featured in the tragic incident involving David Johnson, Inez's love for Julie and Tia is evident in the memories they shared and the community's regard for him. Donna Chenisek. Donna Chenisek is the 911 operator who receives Tia's call. She demonstrates a calm and professional demeanor, providing guidance to Tia and offering reassurance throughout the call. Donna's actions are crucial in keeping Tia calm and focused, providing her with a vital lifeline until officers arrive at the scene. Her role underscores the importance of 911 operators in emergency response and supporting individuals during times of crisis. David Johnson. David Johnson is the perpetrator and antagonist in the story. He is portrayed as a troubled individual with a history of criminal behavior who harbors a grudge against the Hein family, blaming them for his arrest on drug-related charges. Johnson's actions are driven by resentment, obsession, and a desire for revenge. His history and unstable behavior escalate the threat to Julie and Inez's lives. Johnson's character serves as a cautionary tale of the dangers of unaddressed mental health issues and unresolved conflicts. His actions have a devastating impact on the Hein family and the community, highlighting the need for early intervention and support to prevent the escalation of violence and tragedy. Sheriff Ben Johnson and Judge Richard Graham. Sheriff Ben Johnson and Judge Richard Graham are authority figures who represent the law enforcement and judicial system involved in the tragic events. Sheriff Johnson is involved in the investigation and provides insights into the challenges of addressing Johnson's threats. He defends the actions of his officers while acknowledging the tragic nature of the case. Judge Graham, on the other hand, expresses remorse over his denial of Julie's request for a restraining order. He acknowledges that he likely would have made a different decision had he been provided with more information. Their characters highlight the impact of legal decisions on individuals' lives and the need for greater care in assessing threats and protective measures.